Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who still rule well, and peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth. Okay, pushing this truth in humility and sincerity, as commanded by Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be going into some history, okay? Some secular history that ties into the scriptures, because we know that the scriptures, the Bible, is a historical document, okay? There's nothing fictional about it. Everything in it is factual and historical. And this is what the people of the world do not understand. You know, and the inspiration for this lesson comes from basically the encounter that we had last night. And you had some chicks there that was, you know, saying a whole lot of nothing. But I mentioned how women worship was big during Paul's time. And this is why we can go to the scripture and we can read about the woman being out of order and correction on how for her to get in order, because Paul was dealing with the same exact thing. And I also mentioned how you had the temple in Ephesus. Okay, and we're going to go into that because that whole vibration is still here today of exalting the black woman. You know, the black woman is God, and, you know, brothers be talking about women is stronger than men and all this other BS. All that goes back to an ancient spirit of rebellion, spirit of the serpent. But there have been many idols that have come up to take on that image. And the name of this goddess here is Artemis. Okay, Diana, the temple for Diana, which I believe is the goddess of fertility. You see, she has she's a black woman, so-called black woman, you know, a Negro. And this is the idol that they worship. It says Artemis of Ephesus, a goddess who represented an ideal view of blackness. Okay, and this is what they were worshiping when you go to the book of Acts, the 19th chapter. Let's go to Acts 19, and we'll try to jump down to the point. Acts 19, we're going to start at 23. It says, the same time there arose no small stir about that way. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought in no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation, and said, sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. So basically, they're basically saying that, you know, by them making these shrines for Diana, they make a lot of money. You know, that's how they make the majority of their money. And you look at the NIV on the right hand side, it says, verse 24, Acts 19:24 in the NIV, it says, a silversmith named Demetrius, who made silver shrines of Artemis. You see, so Diana is referring to Artemis. Okay, this black woman goddess, this black woman idol, this goddess of fertility. You know, this nigga woman, man. You know, and this is what Esau has exalted in his society. He's exalted Eve. That's why the scriptures say that because the word feminine in the Latin means with minus faith. It means minus faith in the Latin, the word feminine. And you know, in the book it said that the Jews, they looked at women as women in the ancient world. The Jews, our people, would look at the woman as an enemy to the faith. Because why? Because the word feminine means minus faith. Okay, less faith. They have less faith than the man. Okay, and that's just how they were wired. That's why they need a head of the Israelite man to keep them on the straight. Because without the Israelite man, they will fall into idolatry. This is Amos get this real quick, because I mentioned how this is, this is Eve's kingdom. This is Eve and the serpent's kingdom. Micah 7 and verse 10. It says, let's start at verse 9. I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. See, ultimately, the Israelite man, though he followed his woman, it was still his responsibility, and he sinned against Yahweh Shemel Shah. We sinned against Yahweh Shemel Shah. Okay? So now we have to bear this indignation. We have to bear the Lord's anger. And a part of the Lord's anger is our women being exalted over us in this society. A part of that is our women, magnifying themselves against us. A whole lot of women worship, Even on a carnal level, like these people, they celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day and all this other BS, but they'll go so extra hard on Mother's Day. They'll get mom a diamond necklace and then posting all these long paragraphs on you was always there and this and that, but then Father's Day come and all the nigga get is some socks. So this kingdom is completely out of order. And it's the same spirit that was back in Acts 19th chapter. And that's what I want to touch on. So real quick, Micah 7 and 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. So the Lord's going to do what he said he was going to do. He's going to bring us back into that light. He's going to set up the man back in his rightful order, and he's going to put the woman back in her rightful order. Verse 10, then she that is mine enemy. So who was the enemy of the Israelite man? Eve. Why? Because she took the side of the serpent. It tells you that in 2 Corinthians 11 and 4. I fear thee as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety. So now he's got the minds of our women. It says, Micah 7 and 10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and then they're going to see how the Lord sets us up. They're going to see the Lord put us in our rightful place. They're going to see brothers with spiritual power. They're going to see brothers heal people. They're going to see brothers stop bullets and go invisible and, do miraculous things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. And shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? And that's what these women say. Where is the Lord your God? Where the gods? The black woman is God. When is the destruction going to come? What day? Talking shit out of the side of their fucking neck. But they're going to see it. They're going to see when that day comes. Okay? Because the Lord's going to keep that spirit in their body so that they can either melt, or be taken some horrible way in Jacob's trouble. Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. They're going to be trodden down as the mire of the streets because they were never supposed to be exalted. It says Acts 19:24, verse 25. It says, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation and said, sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth. Moreover, ye see and hear that I know not only at Ephesus, but also throughout all Asia, this Paul have persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands. So they was mad because Paul was fucking up their money. Paul was preaching to the Israelite foreigners, the Jews, the Israelites scattered throughout Asia, Pontus, Cappadocia, Bithynia, all throughout Europe. Paul was preaching to the Negroes, okay, because the Israelites were Negroes all throughout Europe. He was preaching them and telling them, look, man, these things that y'all worshiping is not no God. Diana is not a God. The black woman is not a God. And so they was mad. So they had this council amongst themselves like, yo, we got to do something about this Paul fellow. Verse 27. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana, right, which is Artemis, should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. You see, so all Asia and the world of Israel was worshiping this thing, man. It was all worshiping this thing. Let's click on that word Diana. It says Artemis.
Strong's G 735. Artemis.
It says
Artemis.
Diana, complete light. It says Artemis, that is to say, the so-called tyrannic or Persian or Ephesian Artemis, the goddess of many Asiatic people. And she was a brown-skinned woman. She was a Negro woman that was being worshipped. It says, to be distinguished from the Artemis of the Greeks, the sister of Apollo. So this Artemis was different from the Artemis of the Greeks. It says a very splendid temple was built to her at Ephesus, which was set on fire by Herostratus and reduced to ashes. But afterward, in the times of Alexander the Great, it was rebuilt in a style of great magnificence. You see, so Esau pushed this vibration. Alexander the Great rebuilt that temple. That's why it tells you in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, in verse 7, it says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. This Alexander that is speaking about is Alexander the Great. It says, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So when Alexander died, during his reign, after his reign, evils were multiplied in the earth. He started to push out that vibration of women worship. It tells you in 1 Ezra, the 4th chapter. First Ezra 4, verse 13. It says, then the third who had spoken of woman, Zerubbabel. Now the king wanted to know what was the strongest force in the earth. Was it the king? Was it wine? Or was it the woman? Okay, and the priest Zerubbabel, the Israelite, he proposed that the strongest force in the earth was the woman. Okay, because why? The woman, through her we all die, as it says in the book of Sirach 26. The woman, her influence brought man into a state of death. It says, then the third who had spoken of woman and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or have lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up, and they planted the vineyard, and from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. 18. Yeah, and if men have gathered together gold and silver and any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape? And even with the open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever? A man leaveth his own father that brought him up and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also ye know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? So everything that man do in this life ultimately is for the woman. Scriptures say that the glory of man is the woman. Okay, so the woman is our glory. Not the man is the glory of the woman, but the woman is our glory. So this is what Zerubbabel is going into. Okay, and throughout history, men have allowed that role to reverse, and they become the glory of the woman. They become the woman's, bitch, so to speak. It says, verse 23, yeah, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the seas, upon rivers, and look up upon a lion, and goeth in the darkness, And when he have stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. So the man put their lives in danger. They risk, they do all these things for the woman, you know? And so it was easy for these people, being our people, you know, our forefathers and foremothers, it was easy for them to slip into that state of idolatry when these heathen made these, and the Israelites, when they made these idols, you know, such as the black woman. You know, they made her into a god. You know, so a lot of our people, just like you see today, you know, you got a lot of Egyptologists talking about the black woman's god and all of this stuff. They get into that, and they actually believe that. It says, wherefore, verse 25, wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sake. You see, and that's the issue. That's not the proper order. Again, the woman is the glory of the man, not the man the glory of the woman. The woman is the servant of the man, not the man the servant of the woman. But these Israelites, they fell into that. Verse 27, many also have perished, have erred from what? Erred from the truth, erred from the doctrine, the gospel. And have erred and sinned for women. Back to Acts 19 and 28. And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, great is Diana of the Ephesians. And the whole city was filled with confusion. Why? Because when women are exalted, that's what happens. Confusion is brought in. The whole city was filled with confusion, shouting, yelling, screaming, chaos. It says, and having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. And when Paul would have entered in unto the people, the disciples suffered him not. And so Paul about to run up in there, you know. Paul's about to run up in there and, go get his brothers. But the disciples told him, no, don't do it. And certain of the chiefs of Asia, which Asia is Turkey, which were his friends, sent unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater. Some therefore cried one thing and some another, for the assembly was confused. And the more part knew not wherefore they come together. And they drew Alexander out of the multitude. And the Jews putting him forward, and Alexander beckoned with the hand, and would have made his defense unto the people. But when they knew that he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours cried out, great is Diana of the Ephesians. For 2 hours, these niggas was worshiping. 2 hours straight, these niggas was yelling, great is the Diana of Ephesus, worshiping the black woman. You know, worshiping the black woman. It says, and when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of the Ephesians is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter? This is what they believed. Seeing then that these things cannot be spoken against, ye ought to be quiet and do nothing rashly. For ye have brought hither these men, which neither robbers of churches, nor blasphemers of your goddess. Wherefore, if Demetrius and the craftsmen which are with him have a matter against any man, the law is open, and there are deputies, let them appease one another. So they was ready to put them into death, but the Lord had men speak up so that they would spare them. You know? And this is why Ephesians 2, Paul wrote to the Ephesians, he said in Ephesians 2:1, and you have he quickened, which means to be made alive, who were dead in trespasses and sin. That multitude in the Ephesians that was worshiping Diana, they were dead in their trespasses and their sins. And their main sin was idolatry. It says, wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world. The course of this world is women worship, exalting the woman. Okay, back then it was worshiping Artemis, the goddess of fertility. It says, according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, and the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Right. Which they were the children of disobedience when they were wrapped up in that mindset. We're doing those things. It says, among whom also we had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So it says, Artemis of Ephesus, a goddess who represented an ideal view of blackness. You see the image of her there. Okay, you see all the eggs on her. It says, let's see. It says, among the pantheons of deities worshipped by the ancient Greeks, Artemis of Ephesus stands out as one of the most enigmatic. Her cult arose during the early millennium BC, when the city of Ephesus was founded on the shores of Asia Minor by colonists journeying east from the Greek mainland. There she took on the hybrid form of the native Greek goddess Artemis. It says, made at the height of the Roman Empire, this elegant crafted work is generally thought to reproduce a Greek original of the 2nd century BC. The bronze element represented the head, hands, and feet, were restored in the early 19th century, but are based on the equivalent features, blah, 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 blah. You see her face there. It says, despite their dark color, the facial features and the hair of the goddess embodied the classic Greek ideal of beauty. There are no traces of black some traits as might be expected. The paradoxical concept of a light-skinned face cloaked in darkness, on the other hand, provides an ideal opportunity for the investigation of the nature of the blackness in the ancient Greco-Roman goddess. The importance of the black face of the Greco-Roman world is evocatively illustrated. I'm not going to read that, but that's the point, you know. They're trying to make it seem like the dark skin didn't mean anything, but the dark skin, like as the Book of Nature No Color Lines brought out, dark skin in the ancient world was a nobility. It was it wasn't looked down upon until America. They pushed that dark was bad and white was good. But before that, dark skin was looked at as royalty, okay, of perfection. It says the choice of dark skin for the statue of Artemis may also reflect a broader positive response to blackness in the ancient world. In Greek, the concept of black or darkness is signified by meles as opposed to lukos, meaning light or whiteness. Unlike the dire moral embraces later placed on these distinctions by Christian theology. Right, so before black was looked at as a bad thing, it was looked at as a good thing. This is why you have you had all type of mixing and mingling amongst the Moors and the Edomites up in Europe, because they wanted to darken their complexion. They wanted to look more godly, more royal, you know. But anyway, I just want to bring out some of that history a little bit to edify to the elect. Call me Asherah, Shalom.